In 2018, Metrolinx introduced the work method for the use of temporary rail bypass cables, TRCBs, by track crews. The following processes to allow track maintenance crews doing rail and joint replacement, as well as in-track thermite welding, to place a temporary rail bypass cable, TRBC, around the section of the same rail they're working on in order to prevent unnecessary activation of highway rail grade crossing warning systems in the vicinity. Refer to Section 1, Scope and Understanding for more. What is a TRBC? It's a cable to restore electrical continuity to the track circuit of a grade crossing warning system. In other words, it stops the crossing from ringing while you replace the rail. The use of TRBCs must be identified in written work plans and approved by Metrolinx in advance of the work beginning. TRBCs do not eliminate the need for crossing deactivations in certain applications. Productivity. Track crews can proceed with repairs, spare rails, broken rails, etc., while S&C is on its way. S&C can finish tasks already in progress and then go to the crossing to confirm everything is working properly. The TRBC decouples the work of the two groups, reducing time spent waiting for the other and improving the productivity of both groups. It must be noted that front-end planning and communication is still vital. Section 5.1, Notification of Signal S&C Maintainer, prior to application identifies 48 hours notice to signals. The use of TRBCs must be supplemented with the Track Department Temporary Rail Bypass Cable Application Form, which denotes who is responsible for the application of the TRBC and which signal maintainer was notified of its intended use. See the procedure, Section 5. Why use the TRBC? It reduces nuisance ringing. Nuisance ringing is when a crossing is ringing with no train around. The public learns very quickly to ignore warning systems when they see nuisance ringing. A TRBC is the quickest way to stop nuisance ringing when the cause is a rail replacement or a broken rail. All personnel must be conversant with the Metrolinx TRBC work method, and a copy must be on site along with the written work plan and training records. How does a TRBC work? Normal electrical current flow in the crossing approach circuit. The crossing warning system is not ringing or flashing, as the signals can proceed up one rail, across through the termination shunt, and back along the other rail to the crossing. When you have a broken rail or missing rail segment, this blocks the flow of electricity on the crossing approach, which turns on the warning system, as depicted on the right-hand side of this slide. The TRBC is placed around the break in the rail, restoring the electrical circuit, and turns off the warning system. A TRBC must not be applied where arc welding will be performed. If the work will partially or fully block the road surface, flagging at the crossing will be required. If deemed appropriate as temporary protective measure to protect the safety of rail operations, you may want to keep the warning system active while working close to or on the road surface. This should only be used in special cases, example, when approaching motorists have limited sight lines or in poor weather. Preparing to use the TRBC. Obtain positive track protection as usual when doing track work. Perform the job briefing. Who is responsible to apply and remove the TRBC? Which crossing or crossings will be affected by the application of the TRBC? Are we in mainline or non-mainline territory? Consult the timetable or ask the S&C staff. And what method of positive track protection is in place? TRBC Work Method Section 3 covers job briefing requirements in addition to these just preparing. Contact the signal maintainer and advise who you are, provide the contact information, cell phone, radio channel, what work is happening and where it is taking place, which crossing is affected, and when you expect to complete the work. Note, contact the S&C manager if you cannot contact the signal maintainer. And remember, this is supposed to be 48 hours notice. Apply the TRBC to the rail that is to be worked on. Do not apply the TRBC across the rails. Apply the first TRBC clamp to the head of the rail that will remain in place, at least 6 feet away from where the rail cut or open area will be. Use hand pressure to tighten the clamp on the rail head. Apply the second TRBC railhead clamp in the same manner as the first on the same rail, but on the other side of the work area, at least 6 feet away from the rail open area. The TRBC should be visible, preferably laid along the track between the rails, and note the use of the traffic cone as an added visual warning. That traffic cone must be 28 inches in height. Okay, if you have to, you can run the alternate placement is to run the TRBC alongside the track, but the TRBC is between the rails, or if the TRBC will interfere with the machines between the rails. Remember, you can't be running over the clamps either. Perform the track work. Commence the track work, replacing the rail or removing any unnecessary joints. With the TRBC in place, the crossing warning system should not activate. If the crossing does activate, tighten each TRBC clamp. Wait 20 seconds to see if the system. If the warning system is still activated, remove each TRBC clamp one at a time, clean the surfaces, and apply each clamp. Wait 20 seconds to see if the warning system shuts off. If the warning system is still activated, call the signal maintainer and advise him or her of the problem, and arrange to provide flag protection at the crossing. Finishing work. Remove the TRBC only after the rail repairs are complete. Call the signal maintainer to advise that work is complete. Complete the remainder of the track department temporary rail bypass cable application form. If the crossing warning system activates when the TRBC is removed, call the signal maintainer and advise what has happened. If the signal maintainer has not arrived before you are ready to depart, you must maintain positive track protection of the affected crossing. You may cancel your positive track protection after you have replaced a manual protection order on the crossing so that trains approach prepared to manually flag themselves across. CROR Rule 103G and T&E Rulebook 13.3. Advise the signal maintainer that you have put a manual protection order on the crossing. The signal maintainer will remove the manual protection order after confirming that the crossing is functioning properly. Work method sections 7 and 8 detail the responsibilities assigned to the supervisor or foreman of the track maintenance crew for TRBC removal and all communications required. Work method section 9 details the signal's responsibilities. Ordering information. Metrolinx has allowed for all contractors to have their signals and communication departments build the TRCBs for them. It was laid out on a conference call stipulating that that was allowed. So either Guelph or Mississauga signal departments can supply the jumpers for the track department. Okay, in summary, TRBC completes the electrical circuit of a crossing warning system approach track around a break in the rail or around a rail being replaced. This allows track crews to start their work without waiting for a signal maintainer to arrive, and allow a signal maintainer to finish other tasks before going to the affected crossing, thus improving the productivity of both work. A TRBC also reduces nuisance ringing for the motoring public, minimizing the chance that the public will ignore warning systems. For more information, read the document Work Method for Use of the Temporary Rail Bypass Cables, and it's downloadable from Safety Hub. Metrolinx will be out to audit sites using TRBCs, so training records and full copies of the TRCB work method must be included with the overall work plan documentation or will be cited for non-compliance. Thank you.